Nicole Russo in Kentucky and Dan Illman in New York, coming to you for the Oaks Countdown. And as we enter this final countdown, let's begin, as usual, by taking a look at the points list heading into a big weekend, which we'll discuss. The Oaks will have a maximum field of 14 starters on April 30th. Here are the current top 14 points earners who are nominated to the race as of today. More on that in a moment. Crazy Beautiful catapulted herself toward the top of that list with her breakthrough Gulfstream Oaks victory, Dan.
Yeah, it was a really solid performance for Crazy Beautiful. She'd been knocking on the door. She ran okay in her seasonal debut, and she came through. Although the Beyer speed figure came back a bit light, only 83, something tells me, though, that the South Florida-based 3-year-old fillies like Crazy Beautiful, they have to improve a lot more if they're going to handle the likes of Travel Column and Clairiere in the Oaks.
I believe those are still the top two contenders as of this moment. That said, Crazy Beautiful, like those two, will be coming home to Kentucky, where she's run well at Churchill. We'll watch her here winning the Gulfstream Oaks. And as you said, she'd been knocking at the door. A minor stakes winner at Ellis last summer. She was second in the Pocahontas at Churchill, second in the Alcibiades, second in the Devona Dale in her seasonal debut, and finally broke through here. Ken McPeak knows how to get a nice filly ready, and he would love to win the Kentucky Oaks after finishing second in the Philly Classic with the likes of Swiss Skydiver last year and Take Charge Lady in 2002.
It's really a remarkable run he's had with his fillies the last several years. A nice performance again from Crazy Beautiful. But consider the fillies she beat at Gulfstream Park. The favorite was Cone Lima, who has done most of her damage on the turf thus far. Todd Pletcher sort of taking a chance as Malathaat waits for this week's Ashland at Keeneland. And of course, Milfoui, who ran okay in this spot, but was also beaten by Malathaat at Aqueduct last year. So again, the waters get deeper from a class standpoint for Crazy Beautiful.
Absolutely. And speaking of a filly testing some deeper waters, there was another Oaks points race last weekend in the Bourbonnais Oaks on synthetic at Turfway. The winner was this filly who you'll take a look at here, the regally bred Adventuring by Classic Sire Pioneer of the Nile and Out of Champion Questing. Now, she was not an original Kentucky Oaks nominee. She needs to be made a late nominee by April 10th or a supplemental nominee at entry time for a hefty fee. If she is nominated, she will then appear on this list with the 50 points that she earned for the Bourbonnais, and that should put her into the field. Dan, I think she'd be an interesting addition. She needs to move back to dirt, but certainly has the pedigree to do so, and she's a likely raced improving filly.
I don't disagree with anything you say. She really has a lovely pedigree. Her dam won the Alabama and the Coaching Club American Oaks, and this filly just seems to be coming into her own. And while she did win the Bourbonnais over synthetic, you mentioned she has done good work over dirt. Her Beyers, again, a little bit light, only an 82 for her victory in the Bourbonnais Oaks, but she does feel like the kind of filly that is improving at the right time for a very good trainer.
Well, we'll see some of the top contenders and see if we get any more additions to the list this weekend. Friday and Saturday, the final 5 points races toward the Kentucky Oaks. We'll take a look through the action. The Beaumont Friday at Keeneland, a shorter race with a handful of points, not expecting it to have much of an impact. But on Saturday, we'll see preps at 4 different tracks, offering 100 points each to the winner. A win gets you in. And since we're talking about prep races, a solid second or third could move you ahead and get you in as well. The fillies in California and New York, I think they're kind of looking for divisional leaders, but the Ashland at Keeneland, which you mentioned earlier, really an interesting group lining up for that.
Certainly is. You have 2 horses coming off lengthy layoffs. Malathaat, Simply Ravishing, of course, the winner of the Alcibiades at Keeneland. Malathaat, the winner of the Demoiselle. How fit will they be for the Ashland? It is a prep, but they've got to get the points in order to run in the Kentucky Oaks. They're both trained by excellent horsemen. They're both good fillies. They'll be facing a nice one, Will Secret, who already has the points to likely start in the Kentucky Oaks, and she also has recency as she comes in from Oaklawn.
Yeah, certainly that fitness recency versus layoff standpoint. Will Secret really a consistent filly that hasn't gotten, sort of much love here. Simply Ravishing, taking her one shot to pick up enough points to make the field at the track. She owns her grade 1 over. And Malathot, who we discussed last week before she elected to wait for this race, really with a really strong distance type pedigree. I think it's a great lineup.
It really is. And also down at Oaklawn, let's not forget about the fantasy with Will Secret deciding to contest the Ashland. Great opportunity to get 100 points for the Kentucky Oaks. Maybe we'll see the well-bred Pauline's Pearl, who is second in her most recent start, take a step forward.
Yeah, and Pauline's Pearl, another filly who I really think is bred to stretch out, who seemed to be coming the right way. And that's an excellent point. With the Ashland having such a deep field, I think the door is wide open in other jurisdictions. The Fantasy at Oaklawn, that's been such a productive prep race. And then, as we said, the Santa Anita Oaks and the Gazelle, really, the door is kind of open for somebody to step up there.
No, you're right. Those two locales, Southern California, New York, they're looking for someone to step up and sort of grab the brass ring and come into the Kentucky Oaks on a bit of a high. Right now, it has been the Fairgrounds Road. You've got the two big names, Travel Column and Clairiere, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens in the Ashland. I have a feeling that the Ashland result going to have a major say in the outcome for the Kentucky Oaks.
Well, as we said, the Ashland and others, these are the final 5 prep races leading up to the Kentucky Oaks. Of course, the field could still shift and change in the ensuing month, including with those late nominations, that deadline coming up. But either way, we'll be back to recap everything that happened the weekend of April 2nd and 3rd and give you a look at the points list as it stands after the prep action right here next week on the Oaks Countdown for DRF TV.